Hi Year 10. Today we're going to learn about finding the missing angle in a right angle triangle using trigonometry. In the last lesson we were using the sine, cos and tan to find a missing side. Today's lesson is going to be similar, where we're going to use sine, cos and tan to find a missing angle. If anything, it's probably slightly easier than finding a missing side. As I do the questions, you'll find the steps are pretty much the same. So I'll get started. So in question A, we've got a right angle triangle. I'll just press that. And I'm going to put an O here because that's the opposite. It's opposite the angle. And this side here is H because it's the hypotenuse, the long side. We look up the top and we can see it's a sine question because sine uses O and H, or opposite over hypotenuse. For this question, we write sine, and we don't know what the angle is. That's what we're trying to find. So this angle here is called theta, Theta. Sine of the angle we're trying to find is the opposite of tan over the hypotenuse, which is 18. Sometimes we do a second line of working. It's not really working. We just write sine to the minus 1 equals 10 over 18. Oops, just rub that out. Let's do that again. Equals 10 over 18. What this sine minus 1 means, if you look at your calculator above the sine button, you'll see that. To get to this sine to the minus 1, or the inverse, or the opposite, what we do is we press shift and then sine. So on our calculators, we're going to press shift, then sine. Then the fraction button, 10 on the top, scroll down, 18 on the bottom, scroll across, close the brackets, and we get an answer of 33.7. Let's just say 33.7. They want the answer to the nearest degree, so the answer would be 34 degrees. Okay, so let's go to the next question. In the next question, this is the hypotenuse and this is the adjacent. So we look up the top and see which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse, and it's a cos question, A on the top, H in the bottom. So this is a cos question. So cos of the angle we're trying to find is equal to the adjacent over the hypotenuse. You don't have to write this line, it's just a reminder that we press shift on the calculator. Okay, so you pick up your calculator. So the angle we're trying to find is supposed to be, I'll just do that a bit neater. I'll do that again. Do that a bit neater. It's a circle with a line through it. The angle we're trying to find, which we call theta, is we press shift cos, shift then cos, not at the same time. Press shift and then press cos. Fraction button, 250 on the top, scroll down, 400 on the bottom, scroll across, close the bracket, equals 51.3. They want the answer to the nearest degree, so that's 51 degrees. Next question. Can I make that bigger? Yes, I can. Okay, so in this question here, this is the opposite because it's opposite the angle. This is the adjacent because it's next to the angle. So we say which one uses O and A. Go back up the top and you can see tan uses O and A, opposite over adjacent. So this is a tan question. So we press tan, theta, or the angle we're trying to find, is equal to opposite on the top, adjacent on the bottom. Again, I like to write tan minus 1. You don't have to. Just to remind you to press shift on the calculator. So when you pick up your calculator, you press shift tan, shift, then tan, fraction button, 8.3 on the top, scroll down, 4.7 on the bottom, close the brackets, and we get 60.4 or 60.5, let's say, and, or actually it's 60.47. It is 60 degrees to the nearest degree. Okay, so I'll just keep going. Be good if you can try one of these yourself, like maybe stop the recording now and try to work out, is this question here D, is it a sine, cos or tan question? So maybe pause it, have a think, work it out. I'm going to tell you that this is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent. So it's a cos question. Cos of the angle we're trying to find equals adjacent over hypotenuse. You can write cos to the -1. You don't have to. But anyway, pick up your calculator, press shift, then cos, fraction button, 28 on the top, 32 on the bottom, scroll across, close the brackets, equals 28.95, 28.95, and to the nearest degree, that would be 29 degrees. Okay, again, try to work out yourself, is this a sine, cos, or tan question? Just pause it, try to work it out. Okay, so I'll just do the question. This is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So this is a tan question. Tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. I won't write out the next line, but just remember to press shift, then tan, fraction button, 0.875, scroll down, 0.375, scroll across, close the brackets, and we get 66.8. To the nearest degree, that would be 67 degrees. Again, if pause it, try to work out, is this a sine, cos or tan question? Okay, this is the opposite. This is the hypotenuse. So this is a sine question. So it's sine of the angle we're trying to find, it's called theta, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Pick up your calculator, press shift, sine, fraction button, 1264, scroll down, 1570, scroll across, close brackets, equals 53.6, and that equals 54 degrees. Okay, so is there more? Yep, there's another page. Anyway, let's see. Rather than theta, that's another Greek symbol called alpha. It makes no difference. It's just we're trying to find that angle that I just circled, whether it's a square, a dot, a stickman, a theta, in this case an alpha. It just means find that angle. So let's work out what it is. It's opposite hypotenuse, that's sine of the angle we're trying to find. So in this case it's alpha. Is opposite over hypotenuse. Press shift, sine on your calculator, fraction button, 5.2 on the top, 8.7 on the bottom. Don't forget to close the bracket, equals 36.7. Just quickly read the question. Do they want it to the nearest? No. Let's say 37 degrees if they want it to the nearest degree. Again, they're just using the alpha sign. It makes no difference what they put there. It just means find that angle. This is opposite adjacent. That's opposite adjacent is tan. Tan of alpha, little funny looking thing, equals opposite on the top, adjacent on the bottom. Pick up your calculator. Remember to press shift, tan, fraction button, 8 on the top, 17 on the bottom. Close the bracket, 25.2 or 25 degrees. Next one, opposite hypotenuse. So that's a sine question. Sine of the angle we're trying to find, in this case it's alpha, is 12 over 20. On your calculator, press shift sine, fraction button, 12 on the top, 20 on the bottom, close the bracket, 36.8, and let's say that is 37 degrees. 3 to go. Okay, again, this is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent. So that's a cos question, cos of the angle we're trying to find, alpha. 81 over 95, pick up your calculator, shift cos, fraction button, 81 on the top, 95 on the bottom, close the bracket, it's 31.5, and let's say that rounds to 32 degrees, 2 to go. Opposite hypotenuse, so that's a sine question, sine alpha, sine of the angle we're trying to find, equals 3.2 over 7.1. Pick up your calculator and press shift, sine, fraction button, 3.2 over 7.1. Close the bracket and we get 26.7 or 26.8. Oop, there's a, oops, get rid of that too. Okay, 26.8, sorry. Equals 27 degrees. Last question, here we go. This is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse, so that's a cos question. Cos, what are we doing? Cos alpha equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Pick up your calculator, press shift cos, fraction button, 0.8 over 1.2. Scroll across, close the brackets, and we get the angle we're trying to find is 48.1 or 2, whatever. So that rounds to 48 degrees. So hopefully, not very neat, hopefully, just do that again, 48 degrees. Hopefully you've got a little bit better understanding of it. Try and upload this to Google Classroom and show me that you've understood it.